New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
All right, what's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Nick of Time Show here, giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time, and the wrong ticker is up. Not sure why, but the Knicks lose to the Pacers, 125 to 108, and we're gonna talk about it all, good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a tough loss to a tough Pacer team, hard nosed series. When I look back at this, I just go back to that game one when we were up 14. We let one slip away and then think, damn, where would we be if and only if we did what we supposed to do and closed out that game up 14 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. But we'll get into it. Had a little time to decompress before we start the show. But I'm ready to get into it with my guy, Lee Escobedo, the Latin Assassin, ESPN contributor, Bleacher Report contributor. What's going on, Lee?
My brother Jay Ellis, good to be here with you, even after a tough loss. I want to start the show with a thank you to the fifth Beatle, Fritz Auersender, for all of the work that he does behind the scenes. I know, I love to shout out my teammates, and I try to my best to shout out Fritz quite often for the job that he does inside of a chat, moderating, posting all of our Twitter handles, telling you how to subscribe, telling you how to cop that dope ass KOT hat. But he does a lot more than that. And last time when Jay Ellis wasn't here, since he was with New York Post, and that's to Henry, major congrats. Fritz had to upload the episode and set his alarm for 2 hours after the show and did it. And it was a long show. So 2.5 hour show. Because I'm still new to this hosting thing and I wasn't able to ring it in. And Fritz set his alarm, woke up, and uploaded to YouTube. So he does so much work for all of us behind the scenes. I just want to give him his flowers and let y'all know that now that the season's over, the NBA Economy Show is going to be your go-to source for off-season news, rumors, salary cap discussions, and all things Knicks. So make sure you like and subscribe and follow our main man, Fritz Auersender, the fifth Beatle, and the Mod God.
Well said. Well said. Listen, I want to thank everybody. Actually, I want to thank the followers who rock with us all year, for the people who've been with KOT for 8 years. Shout out to AP, 7, 8 years working with us. For the people who just got here this year, we appreciate everything you've done with for us. All the super chats, Gamer Channel, especially, who's giving us $10 for blocks, precious blocks. He's all the guys, everybody who's contributed. We've had a good season with the Knicks and a good season with the show as well. I just really appreciate how you guys have rocked out with us. So much love to the followers on YouTube and even some of the new followers that we are quickly getting on TikTok. It's like we got like 8 new followers the last time we streamed on TikTok. So that audience is growing. So I appreciate both of you guys. So yeah, let's get to it though. Let's get to it. And TikTok, I know the score is wrong on TikTok. I'm not sure why it's not updating, but the score is wrong. But it is what it is. Let's get to it though. I'm not gonna lie, man. The way the Knicks started this game, I thought we were gonna be in this. We've been a victim of slow starts before, but I thought the intensity was good. Jalen Brunson starts off hitting his first few buckets. Andrew Nembhard gets into foul trouble early. That's usually bodes well for us. Mitchell Robinson had 5 offensive rebounds in that first quarter. But the ominous thing that was hanging over our heads was kind of just been the theme, the thread in a lot of these losses versus the Pacers have been the turnovers. We had 17 turnovers once again. They really hammered us and converted off of those turnovers as well. Because they're a fast-paced, high-octane team, they had 22 points off turnovers versus our 8. So although we were able to generate extra possessions on the offensive rebounding, the turnovers by McHale and Jalen Brunson specifically really hurt us. 5 turnovers apiece. So you can look at a lot of things about why we lost this game, but the number one reason to me has to be the turnovers. And it was really for Jalen Brunson himself, this was like so uncharacteristic of Jalen. Like he's a person you really can't speed up a lot. And he got rattled, man. Like Jalen Brunson got rattled today. When you headbutt somebody in the middle of a game, because I don't know if you guys missed that, but he headbutted Nimhard in the middle of the game. That's when I know I'm like, oh, this is another side, and that's a big head. So Nimhard's still standing. It's a testament to his toughness because wow. But like they did a good job speeding us up. This is the best defense I feel like they've played the entire series to close us out, and they did their job. They did their job. So I don't know, man. That's the way I see it. The turnovers to me was a big story of the game. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Lee?
Well, I'll be honest, Jay. This might shock you. I'm not terribly upset because this was the best season of my life. I've never had a season this good. I've never watched a team with wearing a Knicks uniform that was this talented and this successful. Never seen an Eastern Conference Finals. We were in every single game, but the one that we blew them out. That makes me feel pretty good. Not just about the present, but about the future. I think this team is far from hitting its final form. I think there's a lot of evolution to go. And there are some things that we need to address in the summer for sure to be a more well-rounded, deeper team for the playoffs. But the foundation is there. We have our 1A superstar. We have a great second option. We have a 3 and 4 option that can oscillate between being the 3 and 4, and some really solid young players up and coming that I think will fill some bench roles down the line. So overall, I'm pretty optimistic. But you're right. The main cause of our fatality this game and last were the 17 turnovers back-to-back games and the measly 19.5 assists that we average for the series per game, which is not going to cut it. Anything below 22 is really pitiful and shows a lack of ball movement and a lack of trust, player to player to try to score shots. They took the foul off a game plan and they played incredible defense. Rick Carlisle is a better coach than Tom Thibodeau. He is a championship coach. He's an elite coach. And Tyrese Halliburton absolutely proved me wrong. I was one of his biggest haters going into the series. He is a true star. I'm not ready to say superstar, but he is a star. He's way better than I ever thought he was, even though I still feel like he's what Trade would have been. Trade's character in Degrassi would have been if he never got shot because he's such a cornball and goof troop. It's definitely hard to root for him. But damn it, he's talented on both sides of the ball. And he is one of the best passers. He's the only passer I've ever seen who jumps to pass and is actually successful. That it's joked about a lot. Most in the last 25 years I've seen anyone who jumps and before they know where they're passing to, instant turnover. Not him. And it's one of the reasons why he's elite as a facilitator.
Welcome, Eddie. We just started. I gave my thoughts on the game. At least my opening thoughts had a lot to do with the turnovers. The 17 turnovers, McCall, Brunson giving us 5 apiece. To me, that was the biggest story of the game. There's other stories to me that you can point out to, but as far as like the common thread throughout a lot of these losses, to me, the turnovers were the biggest issue from game to game. What are your thoughts?
I'm confused as shit. A lot of questions. A lot of questions. We can't say it's no excuses. There really is none. You can't say we weren't healthy. You can't say we didn't have our pieces. You can't say that there was no movement, no ball movement, no player movement. There was. We won a lot of 50-50 balls. It was just we couldn't get stops. A lot of it, I believe, you know where I'm going with this. Y'all already know. Um, it was out coaching. Out the moves being made and not being made. So there's a lot of questions. We seen a lot of our players not read the game correctly at all. We see that. We saw that. And then we seen a lot of rotations and substitutions not being made. So again, we seen a coach on the opposite side willing to play whoever, Ben Mathurin had 20 points 2 straight games, but he trying to get to the finals. So he played him early, you ain't produced. Okay, Ben, next. That's it. There's no favorites in the elimination game. None whatsoever. It's the play to get to tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of questions. I can't wait to break this down with you guys.
Yeah. So I mean, we can talk about. Listen, Josh Hart has been the guy that's kind of been the punching bag lately. Um, he hasn't been good. Today, I felt like a lot of the Knicks, or a few of the Knicks were tight. I don't know if they were either tight or winded. Josh Hart was tight for sure. The turnovers, 2 airball threes. To me, that when you airball 2 3-point shots, that means you're tight. He only played 20 minutes today. Uh, but there were like instances where I feel like, man, he should have played like 10 minutes. It's funny because like, you know, you are right. Tibbs got out coached by Rick Carlisle for sure. Rick Carlisle is a better coach. I think what makes it so is I feel like Tibbs made adjustments this season, this series, but I feel like he made them slower. Like I feel like, for instance, when we started getting to the bench, right? We started going to the bench in game 3?
Yes.
We probably should have got to the bench in game 2. At minimum. At minimum. You can argue game 1, we were up 14 game 1. You know what I'm saying? We were up 14 game 1. Also, like we said before, the Josh Hart minutes, he's stuck with him through and through. I still feel like as much as we've seen from the starting lineup, we still have not seen a true 5-out offense the entire season, or almost the entire postseason. When we had Shamet in there, I was like, oh wow, this is a 5-out lineup. I felt like this is the second time in the postseason in general we had a 5-out lineup. And because of when we did it, it was like with 3 minutes left in the game, with 4 minutes left of the game, it's like I feel like we didn't get enough reps to like realize the true advantages of that lineup. And now we're just in panic mode. So now you got Jalen Brunson taking step back threes, missing Cat at the top of the key for 3, who was wide open. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the adjustments for Tibbs came this postseason, probably more than he has even last season and the season before. It's probably the most he's adjusted as a coach. But he still has some evolving to do because he has to adjust faster. He has to adjust more in game and not the next game or 2 games later.
Nah, facts. That was definitely how I feel about Tibbs, how I felt about Tibbs. Period. From the get go. I always talk about Rap City. Like, I just want to talk about real quick, like when we talk about in-game adjustments or next game adjustments. Carlisle realizing that we're going to pick on Nimhart, so he puts him on Jalen Brunson. That's an adjustment that Tibbs never really counteracted. It was a lot of on ball Jalen Brunson today. And like he tried with Mikal, but like you mentioned, the turnovers. So, but it wasn't anybody else. It wasn't anybody. You didn't play another guard next to him. If you're not going to use Josh Hart like that, then play Deuce next to JB. Play Shamit next to him. Like I don't get it. And then we did a lot of pick and rolls again. There's a lot of that. Instead of again using them off ball, stagger screen them. corner offense. If you're gonna do some screens, do some twist screens. Do ghost screens since they're expecting you to be such a heavy pick and roll team. Do a ghost screen every once in a while. We really don't do these things. Like we make stuff difficult. No way in the world we supposed to be eliminated right now. It's just one coach used his whole team whenever he needed them in spots. He used their strengths when he needed them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want my coach.
Yeah.
Especially with the team we have. Somebody in spots, they know, okay, you good at rebounding, we need that. Okay, you a Siakam teammate. You probably know his game. Let me play you. He's going off right now. Let me get you in the game real quick. Cool him off, please.
I mean, the Siakam thing, to be honest with you, like Precious got cooked from Siakam last season. I don't think Precious is a
That was
match for
last
Siakam.
season. He did well last game, Jay.
No, he did well last game, but like
That's what I'm saying. What have you done for me lately?
I'm not sure Precious is the answer, but I hear you.
What I'm saying is he's on your team. Why not try? We now we have a what if right now, Jay. We're having a what if instead of a no. That is my problem with Tibbs.
Yeah.
It's always a what if.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those games where I'm gonna take some time to process. Like, I already know what it is. Like, when it comes to Knicks Twitter, when it comes to everybody, a lot of people just Tibbs. Everything is Tibbs' fault. Everything is Tibbs' fault. Like, that's usually the default. The default argument for everything wrong with the Knicks is Tibbs.
Like,
Did Tibbs coach a perfect game this season, this series? Hell no, he did not perfect coach a game this season. Did he do more than he did last season? I feel like there was growth from last season to this season when it comes to Tibbs. Yes, I do feel like there was growth from Tibbs from last season to this season. I think for me, when it comes to like why we lost on the percentages, like it's the pie. Like what's the pie of why we lost versus why versus what's the percentage? What's the percentage of the coach versus the players versus the schemes versus the talent? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just
and that's
Jay,
what I'm thinking through right now.
can I say something real quick to that? All I'm gonna say is at the end of the day, it is the coach's job to organize and get these players ready to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like going down with the ship. That's always going to happen. The captain has to go down with the ship. He is the captain. Like so, it is his decision again for the rotations. If Cat doesn't have it, and you keep playing him, if they're picking on Cat and he's still dropping, and you're still playing him, the same with Josh Hart. If he's not having it and you're steady playing him, that is all coaching. Try something else. At least give it a try. I'm not saying for 5-6 minutes. Let's just see. I'm tired of the what ifs though. The what ifs. What if this happened? What I'm tired. Just all hands should be on deck on an elimination game. And it should be no favoritism on an elimination game. You're trying to play for another day. That is it. That is it. And you're going to do whatever. And Carlisle not playing Ben Mathurin after he had 20 points 2 straight games should tell you a coach will do what he has to do to get a series finished or another game. So like I'm sorry, I can't say it's all on just the players. Tibbs had a big hand in it. He had a big hand in it.
So I agree with the macro points of both of y'all. 100% agree that Tom Thibodeau got out coached by Rick Carlisle. Again, I don't see that as a slight, as Rick Carlisle has been a better coach his whole career. He's incredible. He's a champion. Not going to win another one this year, though, KC in 5. But the series, I do disagree with not trying anything this series. Everyone who could have played that wasn't a rookie, but Precious. Precious was the only one who's on the bench. And I think that was the right move, in my opinion. But, where sometimes we're like, hey, Tiz played 9-man rotation, but you look at the 9 guys, the other 4, it's like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Everyone that played a double digit in minutes. So I feel like he did try everything that he could, and he was mixing up with the lineups this year. As game by game went on, you started seeing lineups you'd never seen before, including today
Yeah.
as well. I thought he did throw everything but the kitchen sink out there to see if he did some stops. They just have better depth. We are very top heavy. We have a super solid 7-man rotation. Josh Hart mucked some things up in the starting lineup because, as Jo has said, we can't ever go fully 5 out with him in the lineup or just in the heavy minute rotation. But I think those end of the bench guys, the DeLon Wrights, the Precious, the Landry Shamet, we need to upgrade in those pieces in order to keep up with this kind of matchup. What we have right now can beat Boston, and I don't think it's logical to say that Tibbs is a bad coach when we beat the defending champs. And Detroit gave us all hell, and we got through that one too in 6. But this matchup required depth, as Celtics and Detroit did not. We could lean on the starters in the 7-man rotation. This one not. I think I agree though with Tibbs waited too long to expand it.
Yeah.
That rotation should have expanded at the very fourth quarter of game 1 and then definitely utilized in game 2 instead of waiting to game 3. That's to me was a number one biggest fatal flaw by Tibbs in the series. Number 2 was over relying on Josh Hart, who I think if there's any trade candidate this summer, Josh Hart is that trade candidate. He might have given us everything he can because he's taken a major step back defensively.
I'm not even so about trading Josh Hart. I'm just losing him less or just listen, like I honestly feel like Mitch has been so good for us, you know. It's really just the health of Mitch, right? The impact that Mitch has had this season has been tremendous, but I feel like going into next season, Mitch healthy, you lean in on the double big lineup to start and get that chemistry going because you already saw what happened from Mitch getting 20 games into the end of the season into the playoffs. It's like the more and more he played, the better it got. Like think about Mitch's impact from the first series, the second series to now. Think about the type of passes that he was getting the first 2 series versus the type of passes he was getting versus the Pacers. It's like that chemistry with Mitch in the other starting lineup is something that I think we could possibly build on next season because they learn how to play with him on the fly offensively, and we can lean on him more defensively next season if he's healthy. He just got to be healthy. So to me, I think that's one good thing to lean into and to decrease some of the Josh Hart minutes. And but also just having, when Mitch is out, having like another versatile 3 guy in the lineup would help us tremendously to really truly have a 5-out offense for real. Like I still feel like we need Josh Hart here, just not in the role that he has. Like lessen the role.
Yeah. And before I comment on what you just said, Jay, I just want to say real quick to Lee, like Jay had mentioned, that it's always the next game. He always made those adjustments because something that happened the last game. We needed the bench, like Jay said, mentioned a couple of games, maybe earlier. He made it later when shit hit the fan. Like it's always when stuff hits the fan. And it's never in game when stuff hits the fan. Even today, I'm like, call a timeout, Tibbs. Call a timeout, Tibbs. Make a substitution, Tibbs. Make a substitution, Tibbs. Nothing. So that's what I mean. And that could be deadly. So that sounds like a coach that may have a peak, a cap. And can he get over that hump? Can he get over that cap? It's another question we're gonna have. That's why I said I got a lot of questions, but we're gonna get to it. So I'm gonna get to what Jay was mentioning about Mitch. All I'm gonna say is that's it. Pay that man, money, Mitch. Pay
For
that
real.
man.
Yeah, I disagree that he didn't make the in-game adjustments. I started the last model off saying that he should have made those, gotten to the bench in the end of game 1 for sure. Game 2, definitely shouldn't have not waited for game 3. Definitely agree with that. But it's funny as I was in the chat and Phil was saying, we need some Shamet here. All of a sudden, Shamet's in. He's like, man, Deuce should be in there right now. And then he put in Deuce. I thought he was making the substitutions that most of us who are watching the game would have liked to seen throughout.
Right.
And
Jalen
it
should have
just,
been in there third quarter, Lee.
yeah,
Third
but
quarter.
last
Third
game,
quarter. Like he put the bench
okay.
in earlier this first half. Why didn't he do it the second half?
I mean, that's fair, but game 4 and 5 were the most drastically different. Game 4, we got the snot beat out of us. I mean, game 5, we beat the snot out of them, but the rotations were exactly the same throughout the game. Minute distribution had 1 or 2 plus minus, but in the third quarter, Shem and DeLon Wright didn't play in the fourth, and Twitter was up in arms. Game 5, they didn't play in the third. No one said anything, and we still won. So I think he has a substitution pattern. It's up to the players to execute in the role that they're being asked to, and the minutes are given when they come in. And sometimes you do, and sometimes tonight. I thought Shamet was solid for the most part. DeLon Wright was not. You gotta live with that because that's your bench piece. That's why I hope Leon really focuses in on those end of the bench guys and gets better versions of who we have. Because this year was better than last year. Let's up it another notch going into next year.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I
have
feel
to.
like the bench is gonna be
It's gonna be our rookies.
Yeah, I
That
think there's a
that's
huge possibility of that.
that's
like the
that's the
thing that I'm looking forward to next season is Mitch starting and Ariel Haporti off the bench.
yeah. Can I say something real quick about how Cordy? I forgot last game. I forgot a lot of stuff last game, but the one thing is it don't matter now. But one thing that I seen, I love how Cordy's offense. I do, but the thing is, I think it's smoke and mirrors on defense. Because right after he did that great move, he got put out of bounds by Nimhar.
He,
So that scares me. That part right there scared that because
I,
I've seen that multiple times, and that's the reason Dottier is not ready yet because they have to get that grown man strength. They have to get the strength, the NBA strength. They don't have it just yet.
the only thing I would say about that is I can't really judge him off of I can't judge him off of the game 6 of a playoff game when he hasn't played in 3 months like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in garbage time. There was a time where like he's still a rookie, right? Like right before he got injured, there was a game where he had a bunch of ticky-tack fouls and he looked bad. And then the next game, the defense was gotten better. He wasn't getting the fouls, and then he got injured right there. So it's like, so he hasn't played since then, like any real minutes. So I'm not really gonna like microscopically criticize him for.
Again, I'm just like again, I'm a person that if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. You get what I'm saying? This is all we have is what he shows us, and I seen Nimhart put him in the stands. The
I'm
point guard. That's all I'm saying.
I,
That's the same thing with Dottie. I seen what was it? Not TJ, the guy from Boston. Why can't I remember his name right now? I see him try to move him. He didn't go anywhere. That's what rookies. That's what happens with rookies. That's why he didn't play. I really believe that is why he didn't get any minutes. It's because down on the other end, they will pick on him. They're just not ready. But those are rotational pieces next year.
yeah, but
I truly believe that.
I feel I'm just move on. I'm not even gonna get into a debate over
Yeah.
Dottie and Pacom today. Like it's like so. I mean, tips aside, Carl Anthony Towns had a weird game today. Like I said before, I don't know if this was nerves or I don't know if it was just being gassed because the whole team is flying around and you're trying to kind of get your wind. But the missed free throws from Cat today were crucial.
Yep.
Crucial. For a guy who's shoots so well from the free throw line, I was shocked about how many he missed. So I don't know if he was gassed or not, but that was crucial. Also, you know, he has these days where he just like he does not want to come up to the level and guard 3.
I know.
And I know we've been having that debate for a long time. Why are we playing drop? Why? That is not the system. Cat just defaults to that when he spaces out. And again today, he spaced out in that first half, and it hurt us. It hurt us a little bit on top of the turnovers. Now, fourth quarter, third quarter, I honestly feel like we should have went more to Cat because Brunson was having a tough time. So moving forward next season, who Cat still here or not? Because I already know the Giannis chirps is already coming. I would like to experiment more with mixing up the going into Cat in the fourth quarter when he has it going on certain mismatches and mixing that up with Brunson because like we finally went back to Brunson Cat pick and pop or pick and rolls. We haven't really seen that for a lot of the series, and we went back to that in the fourth quarter. But it's like, all right, let's get back. Let's see what's up with Cat when he has it going. When you see Brunson having a hard time.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, like hurting. Cat also hurt us not getting back on defense. Even when he doesn't shoot and he's on the top of the key, he just does not get back on defense. And it lets them leak out and Siakam
Yep.
get 3-pointers. When we play, another reason, again, why we shouldn't have played Mitch on Siakam was because even though I wanted him on Siakam, but I said about the set shooting. It wasn't Turner, it was Bryant today. But also it was because Mitch is going to be down under the basket. Siakam was leaking out. Once he realized that Mitch was on him, he immediately took off immediately. And because Cat is at the top of the key, he gets a layup. He doesn't get back. So that's another way he hurt us. Like Cat got to get better at the little things. He got to get better. He got to get better at the little things. The things when you don't have the ball. How can you help us when you don't have the ball?
Yeah,
He has to get better at all those things.
yeah.
Um,
I worry he's too old. I think he's too far in his career and
You
who
think
he
he's
is.
set? Think he's set in his ways?
I do because it's someone he's 30 years old and he's been in the lead now for like 8 or 9 seasons, and he's still reverting to drop when he's confused on who he should be covering. That is a major issue. I think when I mentioned Josh Hart earlier, I was not advocating for him to be traded. I just thought he was the most likely. If we are in the Giannis sweepstakes, you trade Cat in a heartbeat for Giannis, just because to me, defense will always be the priority over offense. And Giannis gives you both. Cat
Mm-hmm.
only gives you one. And sometimes that one comes with fouls and offensive fouls, and it mutts up your whole offense. The stupid one-handed passes that go into cause a turnover. It can be a little wearing. I don't know if the fit between him and Brunson is always going to cause problems defensively because they both get hunted in pick and roll.
Right.
How do you stop that? Tibbs tried everything, the kitchen sink, to stop that, and he couldn't. This is a roster we have. So you either have to change the roster we have or live with it.
Yeah, I agree. That's gonna be the biggest problem moving forward to see if we can fix that. And I guess we can transition into the Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, since Wingstop was the answer to that. Mikal had an interesting season where he started off not really doing that well in the point attack defensively. Towards the end of the season, he started getting better and better. Had a really good showing versus Detroit, guarding Kate Cunningham at point of attack. Had some good moments with the Celtics versus the Pacers. Got smoked for a few games, but also played well. Game 5. But then when you start to look at Nimhard versus Brunson versus Mikal versus Halliburton, and you see how Nimhard is in the grill and it's really hard to screen him off. Shout out to the Knicks and Mitch, because Mitch started to really screen him for the last 2 games, and I feel like that's why Brunson's able to get free more. You're like, all right, cool. Maybe there's another level for Mikal to get better at that point of attack defense where you're up in his grill too, because like he has like you start when you compare to Nimhard versus Mikal, it's like Mikal got to get up in there a little bit more. You know what I mean? So the Wingstop thing, it'll be interesting to see how far that goes. I mean, OG's gonna be here to stay, but it's really gonna be what are we gonna do with Mikal moving forward? That's gonna be interesting.
I don't think Wingstop is enough. I think it's too much pressure and responsibility on 2 guys to clean up the entire defense when Josh Hart is starting. Josh Hart's definitely taking a step back defensively this series. The reason that Indiana works, it has all 3 guys that can beat thrown on as different looks, they all start. So you don't have to worry about, oh, let's wait until this other guy comes off the bench and then fills in. Now we can start switching between those three, 1 through 3. We constantly are having to make up for Brunson and Cat and then overloading OG, both as a pre-switch on the pick and roll at the rim and also guarding the best perimeter defender and also being a free safety in the lane. It's too much responsibility. We need a third wing, which sounds crazy. This is a hot take. We need a third guy. It doesn't have to be OG and Mikal level, but or Herb Jones, but someone slightly below, like a Nimhard. That type of guy who has size, length, IQ. That Josh Hart's not it. I'm not saying trade him. Move him to the bench. We need one more guy in that starting unit or six man that can come in with size and be able to have 3 guys to throw on dudes instead of 2.
I mean, that's not really hard. That's not. I don't remember Lee Bad. I've said it in a while, but I've been saying that since the season started.
Why I wanted Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean,
yeah, like we need another
that other
3-and-D guy who can spread the floor for us and play defense. I was saying not more. I wasn't saying it because of the defense though, but as the season gone on, you started to see, well, damn, it is the defense too. You know, it's just that you know, Tibbs likes rebounders. Tibbs loves rebounders. That's the one reason why Josh Hart gets all the minutes he does. So it's like finding a guy who can be decent on that end and get your rebounds might be tough.
Yep, it will.
Especially considering what we spent to get Mikal here. But that's what we're gonna have to find. And that's one of the reasons why I'm just like, we have to develop these young guys. Because when you're looking at our bench, like, okay, who do we have that can possibly be that? You start to look at McCombs, like, hey man, we might need to feed you some chicken.
McCullough. Don't forget about McCullough.
We need some milk.
McCullough too. McCullough's more like McCullough's like 6'5", right? No, I think he's like 6'5".
Yeah, and I hear he's kind of a Josh Hart prototype, but with a jump shot. Just somebody that plays on both ends. Hustle can get you multiple. Can affect the game in multiple ways. So again, that's why I'm saying I get we can make moves, and of course you're gonna listen to them, you're gonna think about it. But I think leaps, people forget how that affects your team. A player takes a leap, they look totally different. They fulfill another need for your team, and you didn't have to make a move. So I really like what the flashes that I seen from my rookies,
Yep.
and if they can watch film and get the NBA strength, and the game slows down for them, I see them being big parts of our team.
Yeah. Now, if we do get Trey Murphy the third, because of what's happening over there with the Pelicans, I
Yeah,
might
that's
cry real tears, man.
yeah, nah, facts. Cause you know, Jay, I've been calling for him for a minute.
Yeah.
It's always been. I know we can't get him, but if we could, Trey Murphy.
Oh my gosh, because
That's always been my saying.
Trey Murphy, Mikal OG lineup.
I don't know. I know Fritz is the numbers guy, but I kind of feel if we get Trey Murphy, we're gonna have to get rid of maybe Mikal or OG. One of them gotta go.
I mean, I'm looking at Precious. I mean, Precious isn't expiring though.
Yeah.
Precious is expiring unless they do some signing trades, mumbo jumbo, like they, unless they do some cap work. You know how the capologist does.
Yeah, I just want to say because I know things are strict. This wasn't real money. This my
I'm about to say,
this is my kid. This is my kid.
Over.
No. I'm not fronting like that.
Okay.
This is the play cash. I don't know. I ain't trying to get nothing banned. It's play cash.
Crazy.
Way too early take. I mean, talking about Trey Murphy, I would trade Cat for Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. If we got both those guys back, start Mitch. Let's go full defense.
Cat for Trey Murphy and
I would make that move.
Like at the end of the day, it's always defense to me, Jay.
Agreed.
Like they scored what 100 and how much? What was the final score? Whatever it was, I don't care. Like, but
I don't think I'm there.
But we need defense.
I know we need defense. I know we need defense, but
that's why OKC is people think they're ahead of everything because
Agreed.
they have a bunch of players that play both ways.
Yep.
They're just all fundamentally sound. When they're open, they hit their shots and they don't let their man beat them constantly. Like they are very and then so you have a bunch of two-way players that dig in on a defensive end and they move on a string. So
Yep.
I'm not. Listen,
that's very difficult to beat. That's what we need, defense. I'm sorry. It
I
wasn't
agree
the
with you, Ed.
offense.
I'm not.
I agree.
Listen. I've always been preaching defense, defense, defense. One of the reasons why I was hesitant about bringing Cat here was because I was like, it was my very first. Go back to my tweet when the first thing happened. I was like, they're gonna hunt. I think I might have said they're gonna hunt us and pick and roll in the playoffs. I think I might have said that verbatim in my tweet when the trade happened.
Yeah, I used to call him Kitty. I used to call him Kitty Cat before he got here. I
Right,
stopped calling him that because he's a Knick. So I never called him since been since a Knick.
right.
But I thought, again, Soft looks different ways, because he plays through the injury. I get that. But like, he need to visit the Wiz.
I feel that. You know what it is though? Like, I understand the need for defense because listen, king defense. But like, I don't want to overcorrect where we're in a situation where we're over reliant on Brunson to create everything.
Sure.
So as much as I do love those guys who are both 3-and-D guys, I feel like that might be a little bit of an overcorrection on the defense end because now it's like now we're back to okay, you sit Brunson, who's taking over the offense? You know what I'm saying?
I get that. But Trey he's been better on the offensive end. He's getting better.
Definitely. I was just about to say
better. Listen, better.
But again, what I meant by leaps, but you gotta believe what you see. So every year he's gotten better. He's added something. You get what I mean? So what's next year look like?
I mean, I'm quoting Kyle Quinn right now, right? Kyle Quinn himself sat up on his program and was like, nobody wants to see Kyle Quinn go one-on-one all day. Like, you need one.
But that's what the thing. I don't want to see anybody go one-on-one all day, though. That's the thing.
You're gonna miss. Okay.
If you, but like that's my next point.
You need a guy who can command a double team outside of Jalen Brunson. You just.
I get what you're saying. But if we're supposed to have OG and Mikal, they're supposed to help shoulder that load, right? Yeah. Get what I'm saying? OG and Mikal shoulder that load.
Yes.
And also, we just played a team where you didn't really need to double anybody. You get what I mean? They beat us by playing as a team.
Was
by
killing us.
But no one-on-ones. When they had to go one-on-one, they lost.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And they had to go one-on-one, they lost. Except for when Seattle. Look, listen. Yes, when they had to go one-on-one, they lost. But look, they still have two main cogs, right? They have Halliburton, who is their engine, and then when things get sticky, they throw it to Siakam. Siakam had 24 points like halftime. He's posting up people. He can slow the game down for you. You take out Pat, who's slowing the game down for us.
People, though? I think OG does well in the post. I actually do. If we ran him more consistently there, I think he would affect the game more, to be honest. I think he does very well when we put him on the block. But we can't do that because somebody else is always there. I think that he do well there.
I'm not saying he won't do well. That's not the argument. The argument is like, it is very different. Yeah. It's very different doing well as a secondary scorer when you're not on a scouting court for 10 games versus Brunson is on the bench. You are the focus now. The whole defense is focused on stopping you. That is a totally different ball game that I think you guys are like really underestimating.
But I understand that part, what you're saying. But if you truly move the ball with a real, you don't have to depend on the whole double team thing. And also, because you're playing that kind of defense with that type of defenders on your team, you make it ugly. So maybe you don't score, but they're damn sure ain't being comfortable on the other end either. And it's consistent. You can trust it consistently. We needed stops consistently. We need to trust it, and we didn't have
I'm not saying we don't need stops, though. I'm saying,
but that's what I'm saying. That's why you will go there. So then, if we can't go Trey Murphy, then it sounded like Giannis is really the target. If that's the case, because I get what you're saying. People saying it's just the first year, but like Lee said, is he stuck in his ways? Is it too late? So if it is, a lot of his mistakes are boneheaded, and they can really affect you. So that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of questions. It's so many, and I have them too. It's a lot of I had to go. I was gonna call Queen VS and Queen, but she having the space. I had to go in there and vent before I could come on here because I needed it. I had to do it. So this is just straight, raw, honest. I'm just
It's always
like I
straight raw honest. I don't hold nothing back.
yeah, straight, real honest, but like straight, raw emotions. Like I was trying not to. I had to say, don't cry on the pod. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like so, I just defense. You always got a chance to win this defense.
Yeah,
And
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. You need defense. I'm just saying, in general, basketball rules in general, when you talk about trades that's happened all through years, in general, when you trade 4 quarters for $1, you lose.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like we're doing.
I'm just saying, if we're going to run it back, it's going to be a lot of people who have to work on their games. It's going to be a lot of people who have to make changes.
Agreed.
And that includes the coach.
Agreed.
Like that includes the coach. It's going we're running it back, we can't do this again.
Agreed.
Because it is not a recipe for we can't have two of our stars on the court at the same time is a problem. That is a problem.
No, it is a problem. Definitely.
It's a problem on both ends of the court. I tend to lean with Ebony on this one. I prioritize defense over having a superstar or really good stars at an option. I understand what you're saying, though, Jay. It's particularly with the Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. You might be just kind of concentrating on that hypothetical. Leon would have to know for sure. Scouting report, Trey Murphy has another level. He averaged 21 this year. He averaged 14 the year before. Can he jump another 7 points? Do you think he can? I don't know. I'm not real high on that.
It's a
maybe
big
another
gamble.
2 points. Okay, so you look elsewhere. But the one thing I think we can all agree on is that Cat and Brunson as a duo is untenable on defense.
Right.
I think eventually it can work itself out on offense, where it becomes the best pick and roll tandem in the NBA. It was for stretches this season because of both their ability to do so much offensively, but defensively, Tibbs is constantly having to put band-aids on shit and rearrange the rotations to make them not liabilities together.
I agree with that.
And when you have to sit one of them, that's a problem. Now, in order to move Cat, I think Cat is so central to Tibbs because Tibbs, the read and react, he needs someone to put the burden on and go rumble through the lane and get you to when a play breaks down or a play doesn't exist. I think we could win with the type of scenario Ebony and I have been advocating for, which is 4 guys that can all be the number 2 option on any given night. Herb, Trey, OG, Mikal, but we would need a different coach. Tibbs is not the coach. Or you're pulling in some offensive genius to be the lead assistant. You're demoting Rick Brunson. You had to deal with that BS behind the scenes, whatever. But whatever's better for the team, you do it. You would have to bring another offensive mind that might eventually take over. I say, free as me, I agree, but also with the coach. I say keep Tibbs and keep adding to that bench and expanding so your transition defense isn't a liability. Your pick and roll defense isn't a liability. And you have guys that can be two-way players when they're coming off the bench instead of specialists.
Yeah, I guess I just don't agree, yo. Like, I agree you need defense, right? Like, I agree we need defense. I agree the Brunson Cat duo defensively is an issue. I also feel like I saw the difference when let's bring it back to last season with Julius Randle, right? Julius Randle, lesser offensive talent than Cat, right? Every time Brunson went to the bench and it was Julius Randle running the team, lesser offensive talent, it was scary.
Yep.
It was really scary. We didn't have that problem this season. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm really thinking about. I'm not thinking about, I know that's the problem. I just don't want the offensive talent to drop so much that ends up being the problem again. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I get it, Jay, but what I'm saying is what I noticed is that with Cat, he's most effective and can stay on the court longer if it's 4 defenders around him.
I agree with you.
But that's
Still
why I'm
saying the
saying
same thing.
that's why I'm saying it's a big problem because Jalen Brunson can't be next to him then.
I did again.
That's
I am not disagreeing with that. I am not disagreeing with that. I just don't feel like I feel like it almost might be a lateral move, if anything, or maybe a lateral move is slightly worse because we don't have the offense. Like slightly worse in the sense of whenever Jalen Brunson goes to the bench, now what? You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. It's like if there's a way to get Trey Murphy, I'm not saying this solves anything, but if there's a way to have Trey Murphy with McCall and OG with Brunson and Cat, it doesn't necessarily solve the Brunson and Cat thing, but it makes it it elevates the defense even more. Maybe that's how you can band-aid it. Or, of course, you can start to talk about the Cat and Giannis thing, which just flips everything around. That's way more paddle in my head if that's the way that things go. But like, I still don't feel like the Cat and that's how my brain is working right now. I don't think two role players is the way to go.
And yeah, I'm more for of the I guess you want to say how how the Detroit Pistons were. That's the type of teams I like. Where they hang their hat on defense because again, if as long as that ball move, anybody can be a superstar. Because it's gonna get to that ball movement, make mismatches and make easy shots too. You just gotta hit them. Have to have the people that when their number is called, they come through. We just saw that. That's literally how we got beat.
What
I'm sorry, Lee. I had said that the magic number again was 5 or 6. You couldn't let them get 5 or 6 people in double figures. They got 7 in double figures today.
Yeah, turnovers really killed us, yo. It really killed us. 17 turnovers again today. All right,
let
I'm
me
gonna move the topic on because I feel like we're getting in
hold up,
circles,
Jay.
but I'm pretty sure.
Hold up, Jay. Jay, I got one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
The what how we might have to address this is my least favorite way to team build, which is every year you're kind of trading someone for somebody else, hoping that it works. We did it with Julius Randle to get Cat. If we did trade Cat for someone else, a Trey Murphy or Herb Jones, whoever it is, I hate that way of team building. It feels desperation. It almost kind of reads to the old knit mentality. The tried Joe did a name. Cat felt like that a little bit, to be perfectly honest, and so did Mikal Bridges. Although Bridges had a Nova connection, but I was like 5 picks for this guy and Randall and Dante for Cat. I'm always optimistic. So I said dynasty. I tweeted dynasty when it happened. But Giannis is the one guy, if you throw that shit out the window, you say, go get him. I don't care who it takes. Go to Giannis because Giannis has no limitations defensively. He gives you 30 a game, and he's one of the best defenders in the entire world. So if that's a type of trade, do it. If it's another Cat level trade, I say freeze me, hold on to what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with Sherwin on something. He said he said I don't think we need a guard. I think we need a power forward. I think we need a post presence. I do too. I do. Just somebody that can really draw attention, like can get that attention. Just like Jalen, like our best post player is really Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
That's
That's what
true.
that's the big reason why I'm just like
True.
like I said, like a Cat for Herb and like I don't know. I just don't I get the vision for the starting five, but
Yeah.
after the starting five, you know,
The reason Josh Hart starts is because OG Anunoby's a poor rebounder and Mikal Bridges is an inconsistent rebounder.
right.
So Josh Hart has to start because, as you said, Tim's is obsessed with rebounding. OG should be moved to a 3, period, point blank, in my opinion.
What happens if that post player is hot court?
Oh, sick. That would be best case scenario. Honestly, it would. Because he's on a rookie scale deal. That would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, if you get develop him. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
get
he earns his extension.
yeah.
You get paid if you should give us a reason to pay you.
Yeah.
I think you would.
Word. But it's gonna be an interesting year, man. It's gonna be an interesting offseason to talk about. I don't know who else you want. We talked about Cat, we talked about Brunson, we talked about Wingstop. I actually like OG's game today.
Me too.
I really
love
like
OG.
OG's game today. Like
Love OG.
I know people kind of been up and down on OG, and like I feel like he earned his money this season. I really
Yep.
did, like he did.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. I like even last game when people talk about the shooting, but what stood out to me was that he was great at the help defense. He played like that cornerback kind of
Mm-hmm.
defense. He was the last line of defense. and he helped Cat out a lot, being the five. So yeah, I like well OG. It can impact the game in other ways, and today I like his offensive approach. I did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I really said much about JB though. I ain't like the way he read the game today at all.
Yeah, me neither.
We asked for movement all the time, right, Jay? Yeah, and we got that. And I felt like his reads were off today.
Yeah. Before you came here, Ebony, I said this is the first game I really felt like JB was rattled.
Hmm.
Like between the turn, he had a lot of turnovers. He had 5 turnovers. At the end of the game, he missed Cat wide open for three. Gets to the step back three when we went to 5 out. But we haven't played the 5 out lineup all year. But then on top of that, like I said, the headbutt when he headbutted Nimhart, I was like, oh,
Yeah, he in
he
your head.
he's in your head. Yeah, he's in your
Yeah.
head. Yo, big head. Pause. But he's in there. So I was like, this is the first time I've seen him rattled like this. And between the 5 turnovers and what he shot like 30% from the field, he shot a horrible game. Like it
I
was
look,
crazy.
I
It was
look
like
at
I was the point was like, man, Wingstop is carrying the team.
yeah.
Wingstop was
Um,
carrying the team for offensively for a stretch, even with McCow's 5 turnovers. He was hitting shots today.
he went 2 for 7 from three and 8 for 18 from the field. So, but 2 for 7, and some of those threes was kind of questionable too.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the things were kind of questionable, but he's been hitting that step back three on that wing a lot, and he relied on it today, and it just wasn't hitting. It just was not hitting. He could have passed a couple of more of those, and the one term that really hit me was like he kind of jumped and like kind of thread the needle towards like the fourth quarter. The passing
Yeah,
just wasn't good from Jalen. It just wasn't.
yeah, and well, that's another thing. Yeah, it was the passer wasn't good. The reads. I felt like again he was rushed. I felt he did a better job in game five, taking his time. Like we were almost using a whole 8 seconds clock type of vibes last game, and it just seemed like we went back to rushing again, back to the whole
Yeah.
trying to beat them
They upped their
with
pressure, yo.
speed.
They did. They upped their pressure. You gotta give them credit. They
Yeah,
Yep.
and I definitely do give him credit, but one thing we don't. I just want to see a ball fake, a head fake. Like they were so aggressive, they was gonna jump at everything, and we kind of rushed with them.
mm-hmm.
Like oh, let me hurry up. Oh, they're not here. Let me hurry up and shoot. Oh, they're not here. Let me hurry up and take this layup. It was rushed instead of like we played last game where it was like, okay, head fake. Oh, you going? Okay, I'll take it now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Oh, you gonna pressuring me? I'm gonna just walk you down.
Right.
Everybody else run down the court. I'm just gonna walk you down. It
Right.
seemed really rushed.
Absolutely.
And so shout out to Indiana because I guess their defense made us rush, panic almost in that
Yeah.
sense.
For real. For real. For real.
Criticizing Brunson is difficult because he's your best player we've had in decades.
Yeah.
Has a chance to really win us a chip. I disagree with all the 1A slander from Becky Hammond, all of us dudes. One of the MOs of his channel is believing in Brunson, but you're right. He wasn't his best this whole series. The 50 ball game never came. This wasn't the only game. Ebony's absolutely right about the misreading. That was kind of the whole series too. He had trouble adjusting to the different defenders. And game 1 and 2, Nimhard was really guarding him very well. And as he started trying to figure it out, Nimhard was substituted. I mean, Naismith was substituted for Nimhard. Now he had a whole new person that he had to try to figure out. And both of them were playing a high level defense. Nimhard guarded him better this year than he did last
Yeah,
year.
he
Because
did.
last year he got cut.
He did.
Brunson cut them. This year, they must have done a lot of extensive scouting and tape watching to really figure out how to do him in certain angles that force turnovers and in places where he didn't trust the pass. That it was great read on Brunson, and it failed. And for Naismith to get injured, sorry, their names are very similar. When Naismith got injured and we couldn't take advantage of that, that really hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this opportunity. And then Jarris Walker, who had been playing, was like the Thomas Bryant role, the bum off the bench. He got injured. And I was like, this is another advantage, Knicks. The referees went in the series, advantage Knicks. We couldn't capitalize, as a group. We lost as a group, unfortunately.
I agree. A lot of questions though. A lot of questions. Man, it's interesting because we go into the season. If we started off this year saying we're gonna beat the Celtics in round 2, you would say, you know what, this is a successful season. We haven't reached the ECF in 25 years. So by all means, this is a successful season. We just don't like losing to the Pacers, especially because we lost to them last year, and also because in our minds we were ahead of the Pacers as far as our team development has gone. So it's like it hurts a little bit because when we looking at this team and looking at our team, we still kind of feel like, okay, we have. Some people might say, you know what, we might have more top end talent, but we didn't just know how to put it all together in time. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the front office sees it. If they see it as we had more top end talent and we should have won, do they see it as Halliburton just ascended at the right time, and they just earned it? Do they feel like Tibbs didn't adjust yet? Do they feel like Cat is the move and we should flip Cat? Like, there's gonna be a lot of questions to be answered in the offseason. Overall, interesting season. I was frustrated with this team a lot this season, but also, started to rally around them when we got past the Celtics, and even before that, I still feel indifferent. I'm proud of the season we had, but I still feel like, damn, I feel like we should be in the finals right now. I'm not gonna hold you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we should have been there. That game one, losing game one. Yeah, losing game one. I think looking back might have been the difference, or could have been the difference. Bringing us back home, game 7 might be different. Who knows? But you gotta give credit to the team. They fought, they won, they stole that game from us, and we didn't respond. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the summer. We'll see what happens next year. Yeah, man. I don't know if you guys want to hit anything else. I know we haven't talked about Deuce or Shamit.
Yeah, I think Shamit comes back. I think if you're gonna keep out of the Shamit, Precious, and Payne, I think he comes back. And if they can keep the law right, also, on some vet minimum or however they do it, I definitely think. Excuse me, they earned another shot, another look.
I agree.
But Shamit again, I thought he stepped up again. Every series is not the same. So sometimes role players just don't have an effect. The matchups don't match up. It's just not your series. So this series was definitely a series that I thought before it started that he can affect it because they weren't big. And I've been mentioning all season how Shamit has played great defense, but it just sometimes he gets the bigger player and they shoot over him. So there's not too many bigger players on Indiana. I thought definitely he could make an impact, and he did. His defense against Hallie, his defense against T.J. McConnell,
Siakam.
Yeah, even Siakam facts. I would have liked to see Tibbs just try mix it, even him, just try him on him for a little bit to see what that looked like. I definitely would like to see more Shamit. He showed me a lot in this series.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, to me the role that could be improved the most is the Precious role.
Facts.
We just somebody like Bobby Portis to buy in for a championship with Milwaukee kind of descending into being blown up. A Bobby Portis off the bench would do a lot for us. Championship mentality, defense, hit a three.
Bobby's world, yo.
To me, he's one of the best options. It costs a lot less than a Herb Jones type trade with Trey Murphy. He's a champion, but those are the type of guys I think we're missing one or two of those guys. I agree. Shamit, very solid. DeLon Wright, surprisingly solid. I was actually sad we got rid of Jericho, man. Now, I was like, DeLon Wright, he ended up being way better than I ever expected, which shows, No one knows everything.
Mhm.
But I think one or two more high quality vets that are better than Shamit and DeLon. Now we're deep. Now we can play 10 men and have a really solid quality rotation.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah, like Jay mentioned, this one hurts because it feels like a one to slip away. You did, beat the defending champs, and on paper, and just thinking about how we supposed to play, our strengths were their weaknesses, and thinking about how our role here, you would think that Pacers probably were the least intimidating team out of the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so this is why we feel this way. So even though it's a success, it still feels a certain type of way because of those factors. For me, that's how it feels for me. So yeah,
Agreed.
I just again a lot of questions, and you don't have to make them all tonight. So you don't have to answer them all tonight. So again, we're gonna be watching, but I'm not hate watching the finals. My season has ended. The emotions and everything have ended. Whoever wins wins. That I have no care in the world for who does.
Mm.
Um and I hope we figure this out.
Yeah. Leon Rose, job not done. All right.
Yep.
Salute to the chats. Salute to the chats. Hold on, let me get the gunshots because that was pathetic. Salute to the chats. Yo, 83 people in TikTok rocking. Shout out to you guys on TikTok. I'm sorry I haven't really interacted with you guys on TikTok or YouTube today. Knicks fans, you kind of in our feelings, so I kind of feel like I feel like I'm in the room just talking with my peoples right now, trying to work through feelings. So sorry for not being as
Hey.
interactive. Usually I am a lot more interactive with you guys and shouting you out. But yeah, 84 people. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Shout out to Keon, Elijah King, Nessa J, Aya Mufasa, J Money, Dan Anderson, Monkey Gamer, Johnny Marara, Fanu, Big Money, everybody. If you like the content, man, we're here usually after every post game. There's no more because it's not gonna be any more post games. But when we do have shows about trades or news or anything like that nature, anything that has to do with the Knicks, we'll be here talking Knicks basketball. So if you hit that follow button, thank you to the 3 people who followed out of the 80 people who came, and shout out to the 9 followers who followed us before. Keep on following, all right? Keep on following. All right. I think somebody recognizes you, this Mad Knicks fan. The city says Mad Knicks fan. All right. Somebody shouted you out on TikTok. All right.
Oh,
Shout out to
hell
Pearly, who sends that 199 super chat. He says Russell Westbrook. I'm guessing that's a question mark.
I'm good, bro. No,
Um,
I'm good.
that's like Josh Hart.
Yeah, that's pretty much Josh Hart meme.
I'm good, man.
Josh Hart, Spider-Man.
Josh Hart with a worse ego. I'm good. I'm good, man. Much love to Russ.
Same IQ.
Man. Yo, shout out to YouTube. Yo, shout out to Gamer Channel, JT Riddick, Fritz Alessandro. Shout out to Sherwin. Shout out to Carlos Luis. Who else is in here? Anybody else? Nick Yak. Everybody else is rocking with the show, man. I appreciate you guys. Do you guys have any oohs or bro picks? And shout out whoever's holding down the hearts of TikTok. Salute to you. Salute to you, who's ever holding down the hearts.
Yeah. Was it Fritz said Chris Paul farewell tour.
Chris Paul farewell tour.
We need somebody to run the offense.
I'm not terribly against that.
Me neither.
Nah,
Man.
I'm not against that.
I'm not.
And,
That's better than campaign.
and I can honestly say that CP3 is one of my favorite players. Like I like small players if y'all didn't notice. Like CP3 is one of my favorite players. I prime CP3. You couldn't tell me nothing about him.
Yeah,
I
me
remember.
too. Me too. He's definitely one of my favorite players. It's funny. Like I feel like if CP3 learned how to take care of his body earlier, he would have won a chip. I think he kept breaking down in like the playoffs for like multiple years.
It's true.
And like he just learned that lesson too late, and now it's like he's like 40. So it's like, but yeah, CP3 for sure. Yeah, I feel like he's one of those players where if you bring him here, like he'll elevate Brunson just the way he thinks. You know what I'm saying? He'll elevate Brunson, Cat. He'll just have everybody focusing on the minute small details to get wins. So even if it's only for a year, I would love. Yeah, that would be dope. I think for sure. All right. Lee, somebody said, "Don't you dare disrespect Westbrook." Somebody on TikTok said that.
I love Russell Westbrook. I hope he wins a ring. Just, I don't think this is going to be with us. I don't want to add players that also bring baggage or bring issues. I want to bring players that are seamlessly the fit when they're an eighth, ninth, 10th man. And that's not Russ, unfortunately.
I feel like he might do well in New York too. He's a New York player, but I feel you.
That's true. He
He is a New York type player, but we got a Westbrook already, so
yeah, we got Josh Hart.
that baby all season, all summer. When you went vacation in the beach, I know they got a court somewhere over there. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
Same thing we tell Josh Hart. All right.
Shoot. No, that's what I'm telling Josh Hart. Shoot. That's what I'm telling. Yes, Josh. Yes. Yeah. Everywhere because I know he like the vacation and stuff. So when you vacation, it just
vacation by hoop is what you saying.
Shoot.
I feel you.
You could play pool basketball in the pool.
Yeah. Word.
And OG and Mikhail, I ask y'all to get a handle, please. I'm asking you what I asked Deuce to do. Do the Nike commercial. Right. Yeah, I go to the store. You gotta do. Right. That gotta be OG and Mikhail. But
gotta be.
Especially Mikhail. That has been the most surprising part of his game is how bad his handle is. Very, very surprising. OG's passing also not as bad as Mikhail's handle. Mikhail's handle has cost us possessions. And I didn't know it was that bad. I wasn't aware of that when he came here. Now I know, and you're right. I don't know who the best ball handler is out there, but go get him, his brother, his cousin, his family. You're James Dolan, bro. You're a billionaire. Use that MAGA money and go buy the best in the business to make our team better. The fundamentals, man.
Oh my god. Yo, shout out to somebody asked if we were a podcast. Yeah, we're Knicks podcast or a stream, whatever you want to call us. We talk Knicks here.
And shout out to whoever recognized it. I don't remember the name. I didn't see it. The name. That's funny. Small world, I guess.
That's right. Oh, we got another super chat too. Hold on. Shout out to my guy. That's my trainer in my head, JT Riddick, man. He sends a 1999 super chat. He says, all 82 ECS after 25 years. We improved every year, and we will continue to. Salute KOT fam. Great season. All right. Salute to you, JT. Appreciate the shout out, the love, man. You've been here all season, all last season too. Appreciate all the love, you, man.
Yep. I see a comment in the chat. Mr. Cool says, how about Kevin Durant? I'm sure we'll talk about that at our season-ending recap as a possibility.
Yeah, I'm holding on to that take.
Yeah,
I'm holding on to that take.
It's a Pandora's box.
Yes. Close that box right up. Tuck it away. All right. Tune in. We're gonna have a closeout show sometime to talk Knicks basketball. We usually do post games, but post games are done. Shout out to people on TikTok. People are requesting to come in on TikTok. We have a Discord. I know if you come in on TikTok, the setup I have is a little different. TikTok people, so bringing people in is a little weird. So I'm not ignoring you guys. It's just something I might have to work through in the back end if I turn to do that. So, but I appreciate the interest. We do usually have Discord though, so if you want to talk, I'll put the Discord link in.
Yo, Jay, we got somebody. Curtis Fabian says, "Shout out from the Philippines."
Okay, Philippines.
Oh,
shout out.
See you worldwide. All right.
Oh my! I see my cousin again. Sorry, Scoop. And a young Knicks fan wants to say something. This guy.
we may have lost, but we will come back stronger than ever.
Okay, let's go. We hear you, young blood. I love that.
All
Great
right.
energy.
Next generation of KOT.
Love that.
Gonna have the
Great
KOT Kids
enunciation.
show coming soon, right?
I mean, at the radio voice.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, Lee, me and you gotta get some kids so we can have them the show with.
I might have one or two out there. Who knows?
All right.
Every time I go to
next episode,
every time I go to an
Child Support
AAU
Court.
tournament, I'm like,
All right.
does anyone look like me here?
Oh my gosh.
My bad, y'all.
Use protection. Use protection. All right.
Yes, always use protection. You're right.
All right. Do you guys want to do ooh and bruh picks?
I got some ooh picks. I got an ooh pick. I just want to say, when you piggyback on what you were talking about earlier, shout out to the Knicks community, wherever, YouTube, TikTok, just Knicks fans all over. We are the definition of ride or die. And it's been a pleasure getting to talk to y'all and break down these games. Meeting some folks in person. Like we do it like nobody else. And it feels good to be a part of this community. So shout out Knicks fans.
Yeah,
And
for sure, man. Like I said before, shout out to everybody who supported us all season. Salute to you guys. Shout out to the old followers who've been rocking with us since 16, 17, since we started. Shout out to the new followers. Shout out to the new TikTok fam that we're developing over there. And yeah, man, we here. Great season. This is the first Eastern Conference Finals post-game shows we ever done. Hopefully, this is not the last, and we'll be back next season. All right. All righty then. All right. Any more ooh bruh picks?
I got a bruh pick now.
Bruh.
Just the TNT whole telecast.
Oh my gosh.
Just the
Bruh.
whole thing.
I think this is part of what made this whole thing painful. I've never watched a broadcast where the entire broadcast was blatantly rooting for the other team.
Yeah.
It felt like we wasn't watching on a national media platform, but like the Pacers.
Yeah, it felt like we was watching local TV. And it's like, so y'all force us to get rid of Clyde and our local TV people to watch the national breakdown of guys who just want to pick at her. It's like, oh my, it's so annoying, yo.
Indeed.
Ugh.
I actually heard Stan Van Gundy said it's a foul, but he couldn't excuse it. And he just stopped.
Yep.
Exactly, because like he starts to hear the bias when they start talking about the 50-50 calls or the 50-50, like it's like, come on, man. Like, can we not get like an ex-Pacer?
Didn't they add Jalen Rose to like something too? Wasn't he there?
Yeah, he was there. And technically Jalen Rose was a Knick at one point. But
oh man, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it was
the worst era.
It happened.
It didn't count. That was the days of getting people, as we would call this, with the retirement home.
Fact.
Yep, that was the worst period ever.
Every Knick, every person, everyone on the team became a Knick, and right before they retired.
Tracy
McGrady, Penny Hardaway,
totally washed.
Rose,
Charlie Miller, we had them all. Jason.
Bro, Steve Francis at 310 pounds.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh shit, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The list goes
Kenyon
on.
Martin, when he couldn't jump anymore, I was like,
Antonio
shit.
McDyess. Mm.
We got Jason Kidd. No, we actually resurrected Antonio McDyess.
He resurrected.
Yeah, he played better back after he left.
That's
us.
true.
Remember
Yes,
that?
he did. Yes, he did.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
made the finals, I think, with the Spurs.
Yeah, Jason Kidd. And Jason Kidd. I still feel like Jason Kidd sabotaged us on purpose.
Nah, but Jason Kidd actually he got us to the playoffs even in his retirement.
Yeah, but
days,
I feel like his Knicks hate was so strong when he played in Jersey that he threw the playoffs. Because he couldn't stand getting us a ring. That's how I feel, man.
He said, I got one.
Exactly.
Dang. Nah, that's funny. But yeah, that was disgrace. That stood out to me because I remembered it. You know my
Mm-hmm.
memory shot. So I remember him saying it's a foul, but and nothing came after that. I'm like,
Nah.
okay.
Yo, TikTok people asked about Tyler Hero to the Knicks.
Hell
Oh,
no. I'm good.
all right. I don't like players that are allergic to the other side of the court.
I already knew you. I already.
We do not need nobody else that can't spell defense, okay?
Yeah,
Nobody
I
else.
agree.
Everybody else better be in a spelling bee spelling defense.
Yep.
Well
I
said.
agree.
Well said.
Totally agree.
I agree. Talented offensive player, but we need the defenders. When
It's
you
funny
have
how this radio-
Jalen Brunson on your team and he's your main guy, you need defenders in general.
That's what the worry is, though. That's why I said there's a big question with that. Because we seen the recipe with Jalen Brunson is he has to have 4 defenders. Now we're saying the recipe with Cat is he needs to have 4 defenders. So either one of them gonna get real good at defense real quick, or we got to make moves, or it's gonna be real staggery.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. Bruh,
Mhm.
I revert back to my first tweet when the trade happened.
That's why when they were talking about trading Mitch to get Cat at the time, I said, no way, that's not going to work. I
Yeah.
said, look, why do you think that Minnesota traded all those picks to get Rudy Gobert?
Yeah, the fact that Cat is here makes Mitch even more valuable.
Oh, 100. Never trade Mitch. Hashtag never trade
Yeah,
Mitch
like,
ever.
When I went to the Dexter show over there and he was like talking about not Dexter, but his co-host Brian was talking about, yeah, you made me think maybe you should trade Mitch. And then I was like, do you understand what Cat is? And the fact that Cat is here means we need Mitch even more. Like, that's not, you don't want to do that. You just don't. You just don't. Yeah. It is what it is, man. I'm cool. I'm ready to end the show.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel better now.
Yeah.
Good.
Get out of my system. Lee asked if this is going to be a short show. I said I kind of plan on it to be sometimes, but usually what happens last post game of the season, it doesn't end up being short because it doesn't end up being about the game. It ends up being about the game and everything else.
Offseason, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually.
Somebody said Mitch got cooked today. What game was you watching, bro?
But hey, all right, yo. That's
Yeah,
the
I'm
show,
not even
guys.
gonna go into. Yeah, that's crazy. I caught my attention.
I already know. You anybody say Mitch anything, you're gonna clap back. All right. That's the show, guys. Thanks you guys for watching. Yo, Ebony, let them know where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me here after every post game. Well, no more post games, but you can still find me here because we're gonna have off season work. You can find me well now because Knicks season definitely is. New York basketball is not over. The reigning champs trying to repeat the Liberty. So you can find me at after every Liberty game at Bowling with the Queens. We run on Twitter, running a post game. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. I think that's it.
Yo,
On
hold
Twitter
on.
at Mad Nick Fan. I had to think about it. Hold on, Mad Nick Fan. There we go.
Yo,
I'm off, y'all.
Yo, shout out to the TikTok NBA fans. This is a 70. Hold on, God, this is a 76er fan trying to make fun of us for losing in the Eastern Conference Finals. Ain't that
who
something?
fan? What team?
The 76ers.
back up.
Hey. First of all, how many times has Joel Embiid been in the Eastern Conference Finals in his career? You want to talk about us?
Stingy with
Team about to be blown up
zero.
this year. Y'all in the lottery, bro. Like I would not take that approach on this program, knowing
Especially-
that your star has been overweight for 15 years, and that's the reason why you've been stuck in the second round. Like, get out of here. You crazy?
Yep.
Jay,
Trust the process,
fact,
though. Keep trusting it.
the fact that our backups back up.
You can be.
got more
You know
points.
what?
got more points than Embiid than the Eastern Conference.
I love
Finals.
that
If
stat. I
Embiid
love
wants
that
to take a
stat.
pay cut, he can back up Mitch for us. How about that?
I don't want him here. He don't deserve to be a Knick.
I mean, he can't
Oh,
play but 20
Boosie.
games a season anyway.
Not what he did to my guy,
Dog,
man. I seen that live.
his knees are rubbing together so much they about to start a fire. Like, come on, bro. Like, you crazy.
I just
He got no cartilage
like,
in his league left. Like, they're gonna be trusting the process for 25 more years.
Oh, wait till playoff P gets healthy, man. Once playoff P gets healthy,
wait till playoff P
they're gonna be
get
a
healthy.
play-in team. I guarantee it. Play-in team
guarantee,
once
yeah.
playoff P gets healthy.
I seen a video today of somebody post. It says prime PG-13s, right? And they have him in OKC, Indiana, and I believe the Clippers. That was the three teams, right? And they dancing.
Mhm.
And then it has Philadelphia PG asking can they join, and they ignore him.
Yeah, that was the worst trade that y'all. That was crazy.
That was a crazy signing.
Yeah, I traded for a role player.
Y'all traded for often injured role player.
Yeah,
That's the
PG not
often
where he
injured
used to.
superstar.
Yeah,
I've
but
never
that's the
seen.
thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lee.
I've never seen a team try to upgrade Tobias Harris and fail. Wow,
Tobias Harris over me.
bro! Tobias Harris outplayed PG this entire season. I mean, Tobias Harris was actually pretty good in the
Yeah,
playoffs
he
against
was.
us.
Yeah, and it's crazy though, because the 76er fans and the Boston, I got into more arguments and had to put more of them in their place than I did the Pacers fans. And that's kind of crazy. It's like y'all lost. Take a seat. Like
Yeah.
why I couldn't like the next round? I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not talking to the Pacers, meaning the Thunder fans. I ain't talking to the Indiana fans. Like go kick rocks. I don't care no more. It's Liberty season, baby. That's that's where I'm at.
I feel you. All right. I took a little side quest. All right, yo.
We still venting. It's okay.
At least I kick somebody still. All right, shout out to Citizens. All right, cool. All right, that is the show. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram, the Nick of Time Show on Facebook as well. We're also on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. And yeah, once again, salute to all the followers on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere y'all follow us. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the super chats, all the shares, the likes, all the support that you had all season. It's been a successful KOT season. Most successful Knicks season in 25 years. Hopefully we do better next year. All right. That is the show. Thank you guys for watching. And man, as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out here. Peace.